Oh, so lovely. So lovely. All right. Oh my goodness. I see so many friends. So many friends. I see Pittsburgh and the Midwest, and I see lots and lots of Conshohocken. I'm so grateful to all of you for being here for sure. It's really great. If you're on and you have another moment or two, because it's I have 10:58 and we're going to start just around 11, maybe a little bit after. And oh my gosh, PSU friends, take a moment, consider grabbing a blanket if it's nearby, and a pillow if you don't have one and you're like, oh no, it's in the other room and I don't want to miss it. Don't worry about it. Okay, if it is here for you, you'll do that. Let's see. All righty, let's see. Oh gosh, Nancy, yeah, you're welcome for offering this. Nancy, I believe you're still up in Boston. I hope that you're okay. I have a Bostonite who just got out of Boston. Oh, Collegeville, King of Prussia, Lafayette Hill, Delaware, Devon, Allentown. This really, if you were on the call yesterday, I was just saying how sweet it is to have this experience and to be able to connect with people from all over. And really, it's so lovely. It's so lovely. So thank you all for being here. It felt really important to Maura and myself to support our community during this time. And our community extends well beyond Conshohocken for sure. So it's great to see all of you. All right, I am just gonna grab a pillow for myself and I'll be right back. I have my little altar behind me. And while we're kind of waiting to get started, my suggestion to you is if you have a time to go out for a little walk in nature and gather some nature and bring it indoors, it's really, really great. I made a little altar this morning. It has some water, try to represent all the elements here. So I have some water, I have a candle for air, I have some shells and some pine cones. So whatever your nature is, maybe there's an opportunity for you to gather a little bit of that inside. Oh, hi, Manny and Marilyn. Good. Amanda, honey, I'm so glad that you're joining, and I'm going to give you lots of options to practice. All right, so that's awesome. And here's what I will say. One of the things that I think is just so great about this type of practice is perhaps I can see you, and that's lovely. And perhaps you choose to not do video, and that's great as well. So you do whatever you want. If you're in your jammies, I shared on social media this morning, I tend to live in my pajamas or my yoga gear, really no matter what. So you may be having a little bit more of that experience these days. Welcome to my world. And yeah, you can totally do this practice in your PJs. All right. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So here's what we're going to do today. Oh gosh, hi Kim. Yeah, I get it. It's a lot. It feels really important to check in. I know that some of you were with us yesterday, and so thank you for being here yesterday. Thank you for coming back. We definitely heard from people yesterday that it was really helpful and that they appreciate the opportunity to do this, the opportunity to be here, the opportunity to come together. And so our practice today, many of you know that my focus is very much on making the practice accessible for everyone. And so you may see I have a chair behind me. The practice that we do today can be done entirely seated in a chair. You're welcome to take postures on the earth. You're welcome to take postures standing. So I'm going to be providing lots of options. And my wish for you is that you listen to your body and what you need today. I really appreciated there was some conversation after our practice yesterday. Dana had come on and said, boy, I thought that what I needed was more stillness, but the movement felt really great. And so we're going to have a little bit of a combination today as well. We'll have some stillness and certainly a lot of grounding, but we'll also be moving. With that, I don't mean that we're going to do a really aggressive flow-based practice, but we'll invite in some movement just to get all of the energy that has been stagnant to get it moving through the body and release some of that. All right. The last thing that I want to say is that I have you all on mute, and once we wrap the practice, we'll practice for about an hour. And once we wrap the practice, we'll have time for some conversation afterwards. And so you're certainly welcome to join with that, or you can pass on the conversation. You're welcome to contribute to the chat or not, just listen in. Do continue to follow us on social media, because we'll continue to practice like this. Our plans are definitely so fluid, as is our world right now. But we do plan on continuing this daily free practice. We do have our online studio as well. And of course, you're welcome to join us there as it works for you. It's 2 weeks for free. So definitely sign up and practice with many of your favorite yoga home teachers. All right. So with that, let yourself land. We're going to start in a position that is comfortable for you. And comfort looks like lots of different things for lots of different people. So please, maybe find a seated position, come down onto the earth, come onto your back, come onto your belly, starting just flat on your belly, arms, maybe forearms stacked underneath your forehead. Or if you're on your back, I suggest it's a little bit kinder on the low back to just have the knees coming in on one another, knees face up to the sky, and then knees just kind of fall in on one another. If you're seated, consider being in a really comfortable posture for now, right? To just let the body land here. And the gaze can soften. The eyes could certainly close. And just be still. Just be still for a moment. And if that feels a little too aggressive in this moment, then let your body find some subtle movements. And then land. And allow for the fact that as you're entering this space, it may take you a little bit to land, perhaps a little bit more so than it might typically. And that's okay. That's okay. Give it time. And I want you to just start feeling the breath coming in and out. If it's possible to do it through the nose, you'll breathe in and out through the nose today. If it is more comfortable and fluid for you to breathe through the mouth, then do that. And we're each practicing in a separate space here. We can come together in breath. So let's all just take a deep inhale together. And let it go. And do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. In breath. And out. One more breath in. And full release. And just breathe. Breathe normally here. And it's something, isn't it? Breathe. There is no normal in our breath these days, but our breath is just part of our life force coming forward. And so allow the breath to lengthen a bit here. As the breath starts to lengthen, just notice what's beneath you, the earth, and let the earth hold you. I know some of you work in professions or have personal commitments that you're stepping into a great deal of caregiving right now. And so let Mother Earth hold you. And just as the earth is beneath you holding you, let everything that is touching air expand. As Mother Earth holds you, Father Sky above holds you as well. And so let yourself just feel that sweet embrace for a moment. The breath continues to be steady, easy, not forced. And should you hit a patch where the mind focuses on something other than the breath, just acknowledge it. Right? This is our practice. The mind does what it is asked to do, literally why it was placed in our body. And so the invitation this morning is to recognize the distractions that come up and just come back again and again and again. And as you allow yourself to land here, we'll invite in a few intentions this morning. First, I ask you to call forward an intention for yourself. For yourself. And then I want you to bring to mind someone that you care deeply about. Bring in an intention for them as well. Next, call to mind maybe someone that you ran into in the past week or so, someone that you just didn't really have opportunity to connect with fully, but just made a little bit of a connection. Invite an intention in for this person. And then here too, is there someone that perhaps you're in a relationship where there's a little bit of struggle? A little bit of challenge. These days, it's showing up quite often on social media, differences in how we might be approaching this time. And so could you perhaps bring someone to mind with that and invite an intention for them? And last, we'll invite an intention for our whole world. Truly this time where all beings everywhere could use safety, health, light, peace. Take a deep breath all into that. And exhale it out. And then here comes another one. Deep breath all the way in. And release. You're welcome to join me in an Om, or just let your body feel the vibrations, even though we may be a little bit farther away today, the vibrations still being pushed out into the universe, this collective intention for safety, health, healing, love, light. Breathe in to prepare. And then gently, if the eyes are closed, blink them open, coming back into this space. And from whatever position you're in, allow yourself to make your way up to a seated position. And you could give yourself a little bit of a stretch, even though it's a little bit after 11 East Coast time. Some of you joining from the West Coast, it may be a good morning stretch. Maybe if you are an East Coast dweller who took a little bit of extra time in the bed this morning, it's a good morning stretch. So a little bit of a good morning stretch here. And then again, there's the invitation to just let yourself land in any seated position. I'm gonna pop back onto my mat over here, and I have my mat set up. I also have a chair. So I'm gonna do much of our practice today from my chair. And you're welcome to practice along that way, or take whatever works for you in a seated position, standing position, etc. But we're gonna start seated. And so if you're on the earth, maybe you come into an easy seat. If you're seated in your chair, find a position that's comfortable for you. And we're gonna start right away waking up the feet. So some of you have practiced this with me before. If you've not done shaking hands with feet, take your fingers and spread them really wide. And then take your toes and spread them really wide. And if you've never done this before, you may be thinking, I don't know about this, but just trust me on this one. Take your fingers and spread them between your toes. You know, when you go for like your little pedicure and you get those little toe separator things, take that. And then you're gonna take your foot and you're gonna give it a little shake. So we're not shaking hands with each other these days. So we're shaking hands with our feet. Shake hands with feet. Betty and Linda, I think that you guys are practicing. I hope so. I'm sorry, you're welcome, all of the things. But this is a great way to just wake up your feet and help you to get a little bit more grounded. So shaking hands with the feet, and then take your hand and just give the feet a few little slaps. You can make a fist. And if you're working with someone who may not have capacity to grab onto their feet like this, maybe you give them a little bit of assistance with this. And then maybe consider taking your thumbs and just massage through the base of the foot, even the top of the foot, the sides of the foot. And then give each of the toes a good little stretch. Each of the toes give a good little stretch. Good. If you are practicing tomorrow or another time and you have some essential oils, this is a great one to do. If you have any of that great breathe or peppermint or something like this, a great way to open up the feet. And then move to the other side. So again, the fingers spread wide. Spread the fingers between the toes, and then just give that foot a good little shake. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. And then take your hand and give the foot a good little slap. And if you're doing this and then someone in the other room says, I thought you were doing yoga, what are you doing there? It's still yoga, right? You do the fist, give that a little tap. And then fingers, and just give that massage to the whole foot. And then give the toes a good little stretch. Toes get that nice stretch, opening, lifting. All right, Feet are woken up. Yeah? And then here we go. So I'm gonna scoot my chair back a little bit. Let your feet land on the earth. And so we're gonna move into Tadasana pose. So if I'm practicing the seated, I'm in my chair here. I'm sorry if my feet are cut off a little bit on the screen, but your feet are gonna root down into the earth here. If you're standing, just come up to a stand and allow the feet to really connect down. All right, like I said, this whole practice can be done seated or standing, so you're gonna choose here. And then allow your feet, take a little bit, another way to practice this, if you're like, I think I'd like to stand, but I need a little bit of support. Maybe you have a wall, maybe you have a chair, maybe you scoot over so you've got a little bit of both. And then take some rocking forward and back on the feet. Forward and back all the way up onto tippy toe pose. And then rock back onto the heels. And then take a little bit of side to side action. Side to side, I think a little bit less twisting and a little bit more into the feet. And then allow yourself to start to ground down here. Hold on as I am working on, I apologize if my screen went out. I had my screen. So Tadasana pose. Tadasana pose. Ground down through the feet. Ground down through the feet. And start bringing energy up through the legs. Energy comes up through the legs and then anchor down, strong and steady through the legs here. Strong and steady legs. And let the heart space start to lift and open. And as the chest starts to expand here, think about the collarbones getting a little bit broader and wider. Now the arms can rest by your sides. And of course, you can do this same thing seated. And then with the feet rooting down, take a big inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. If reaching arms up isn't in your capacity today, then just broaden the chest. Take a big overhead stretch here. And then a little bit of movement side to side, just sway here, just sway. The hips start to move a little bit. The side body finds a little bit of opening and stretch. The hands can even take a little bit of swaying back and forth. And then release down and come back to your tall mountain pose. We're gonna open everything up from the feet. The feet, we found some opening with our foot exercise. Just start rolling out the ankle. I'm gonna get both sides here. I'm gonna find some lubrication in all of the joints. So the knees are gonna hinge, a little bit of forward and backwards. Knees don't like to circle, folks, right? So let that be for the ankles and the hips. The knees are just gonna hinge. And now the hips, let the hips make some big hip circles. And again, find a little bit of balance, circle back the opposite way. And go to the other side. Wall, chair, whatever. And the other way. Good, and then 2 feet are on the earth and allow the hands to come to the hips, soften the knees and just make some really generous hip circles all the way around. And then circle back the opposite direction. And then pausing in the middle here, roll the shoulders up to the ears and then down the back. And we'll do that a few times, circling out. And then circle the opposite way. For all my swimmers who are practicing with us, right? You gotta do your butterfly, your backstroke, do it all. Elbows hinge, so take a little bit of the scarecrow action here. See if you can do the loopy all the way around. And then your wrists. So bring your hands in front of you and just start circling out the wrists. And we're gonna go in figure eights. Rather than just circles, figure eights. This is like a great little cognitive exercise as well. And then reverse direction of the figure eights. Good. And then reach your hands forward like stop in the name of love, right? So stop here, pull your fingers back towards you, and get really strong through the legs, and then really active through the arms here as well. Good. And then let the fingers face down towards the earth. You may feel a stretch through the back of the forearms. Let the fingertips face up to the sky and the palms face towards you. Good. And then curl the hands in, make fists. And then once more, rotate the wrists around. Do it so that the thumbs come in towards one another to start. This helps your mind just stay a little bit focused on it. And then circle it so that they start going the outside. Good, and then flick your fingers. So for everybody who's been doing a little bit of extra screen time, my wish for you is balance that with some movement and some stretching, right? And notice as you're moving the fingers here, if you start to like chicken the neck, right? Let the neck stay relatively still. And it's your strong Tadasana pose here that's gonna help you to do that. So still we're pushing down to the feet. Good, and then pause. And release it down. Shake it out a little bit. And then drop your right ear over your right shoulder. Right ear over the right shoulder. And then circle the chin down towards the chest. Left ear over to the left shoulder. Chin comes back down towards chest again. And then push down to the feet. Start to elevate the head back up. Expand through the collarbones wide again. Now drop a plumb line from the center line of your head all the way down to the middle part where your feet would meet if they were touching together. Swivel your head all the way to the right. So pivot the head. And now as you're doing this, pause here, open your eyes wide, and then take your eyes behind you a little bit further. Open the mouth wide, open the jaw, take a deep breath in, and out. Bring the eyes back through center, swivel the whole head back through center, and then take it to the opposite side. Good. Start moving the eyes back behind you again. Open the mouth wide, take a deep breath in, and out. Eyes come back through center, head comes back through center. Take a big stretch all the way up overhead, big lift up. Good, stretch long here, and then gently forward fold. Hands can come to the thighs and take a deep forward fold or a little forward fold. Take what you need here. If you're in your chair, same thing. You can drape the chest over the thighs. If the low back is feeling a little bit crunchy, consider today really supporting yourself with your hands, either on the chair, your thighs, and find some roundness in the low spine. And then maybe a little sway side to side here will feel good as well. The chin can drop down towards the chest as you find a little bit of expansiveness through the back of the body. And then to bring yourself up, I want you to really push down through the feet. And strong legs roll all the way up. Good. Now finish it off. Expand through the heart space. And relax, shoulders down the back. Arrive here. Pause for a moment. After a big forward fold like that, pause. Let everything settle back within the body. And then we're going to move into a breath exercise. So this is one of my favorites, breath of joy. So if I'm standing and using my arms, it's gonna look and sound something like this. Breath of joy is there's 4 parts, all right? Where we take 3 inhalations and then a deep exhalation. So it would be inhale, 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 exhale. And on that exhale, let it all out. Give a good ha. If you're seated, it's the exact same thing. You can do it with the arms or without. So I'm gonna do it seated. You choose seated or standing, whatever works for you. Here we go. Ha. 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 Keep going. With your breath and your pace, you can pick it up, you can slow it down, but move some of that energy, move some of that stagnant air through the body. Ha! Get it out on that exhale. Ha! 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 Good. Start speeding up if it's available to you. We'll take another 3 rounds. Ha. Ha. And then pause. Perhaps the eyes land somewhere or close. Consider bringing a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. And notice what you're feeling. Notice your experience in your body at this moment. And so the more we use our practices like this to expel some of the energy that's stuck and stagnant, get rid of that, we create space for something new. Spaciousness, spaciousness, spaciousness. Letting go of a little bit of fear and inviting in a little bit more light and love. All right, together, let's take a deep breath in. And let it go. All right. Move the body around if that's helpful. And we'll move into some cat-cow rolls. So I'm just going to turn my chair this way. And so seated cat-cows are going to look like this. You'll start to expand through the heart space and then curl in. All right. Standing cat-cows, it's the same concept, folks. Just soften the knees, expand through the heart, and then curl in. Doing it in this way just allows you to not be on hands and knees. So breathe in to open the front. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Good, a few more times with this in your pace. And then if you feel called to bring it into hip circles, you can do them standing. If you're seated, just rotate the torso around. So some nice juicy hip circles here. Lovely. And then bring yourself back up into standing or seated Tadasana pose. We're going to open up to the sides of the body. So reach arms up overhead or expand through the heart space. And then take a side body stretch to the right. You certainly could let your opposite hand help to bring you over a little bit further. If it feels better in your body to just let the lower arm drape down, you can do that. Top hand can reach up overhead with the bicep framing out the ear, or bring the hand behind the head and lay your head back into your hand here. Good, breathe deeply here, keep anchoring down through the feet. Breath comes in, and breath goes out. Bring it back through center, arms sweep up overhead, and then over to the opposite side. And then here too, bottom hand could reach up to give you a little bit of an extra stretch and lengthening. Bottom arm can be down, or take that hand behind your head and lay yourself back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lovely. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Take a big stretch up. And then let's find another forward fold. So exhale, forward fold down the middle, seated or standing. Hands can come to shins, to earth, to thighs, and soften the knees. Once more, if it might feel good to take a little sway side to side. As you're low here, if you're standing, you're going to transition now onto hands and knees just for a moment. We'll make our way into downward facing dog. So hands will move slightly forward. Tuck your toes under. Soft knees, lift the hips high. Coming into downward facing dog. Chest moves back towards your thighs. Keep rooting down through the hands and engage the low belly, pulling in and up to keep you nice and safe. If you're practicing with a chair, you can do it seated, using the wall for a little bit of support. Chair, hands on the walls, and still pushing down through the feet. So whichever version you're taking, think about length through the spine, strong and active legs. Take another breath in and let it go. From seated, bring your hands to your thighs, come back up to seated Tadasana pose. From down dog on your mat, walk your feet forward. You're in a forward fold. From here, roll yourself up to a stand. We're all meeting back in Tadasana pose. Might be useful to shrug the shoulders up to the ears and then down the back. Take your feet to a nice wide straddle. Nice wide straddle, and then open the arms wide. Open the arms wide, take up some space here. If you're practicing this in a chair, just bend your knees. It's a little bit more of a goddess squat. And then in this strong and steady posture, be still. This is a challenge to just be still in a posture here. Breathe into the center of the heart space and let that place that is light and love just radiate out through your limbs, out through the fingertips, out through the feet, out through the crown of your head. Inhale to reach arms all the way up overhead. And then trace it down to heart center. Wiggle walk your feet together, seated or standing, and we'll make our way into a lunge. So just facing towards the top of your mat. Step your right foot forward. Come up onto the ball of that back foot, finding a lunge facing forward with the chest open. Now the back knee could drop down for a little bit more support and stability. Back knee could stay lifted either way. And then you choose what to do with the arms. The arms could reach up overhead. Arms could stay by your sides, your choice. If you're practicing in a chair, you could consider just shifting yourself a bit and practicing with one hand on the chair for a little bit of balance. You're still getting that benefit of opening up your hip flexor here. Breathe into this space. Choose an arm position that works for you. Take one more breath in here. Exhale it out. And then release from that. Bring your feet back together. We'll come into it on the opposite side. Left foot comes forward. If you're practicing at home, just scoot yourself around, take the opposite way. I don't want to have my back to you, so I'm going to turn the other way. Drop that back knee down for more stability and support, or let it stay lifted, finding a little bit more strength. Make sure the glute is engaged here and the heart space lifts. Find some length in the low back so you don't get crunchy there, and choose an arm variation that works for you. Good, breathe here. Lunges are so good, not just for strength and stability, but for opening through that chest space, opening the hip flexor. Breath in and breath out. Come back to your seated or standing Tadasana pose. The feet anchor down. Arms by your side, palms facing forward. It's a strong pose, this Tadasana pose. So deep breath all the way in, and then let it funnel out of the body. Take your feet to goddess. So seated or standing, right? The toes will face out and the knees track in line with the toes. Now, if you're taking that standing variation, hands can start on the thighs for a little bit of support. I think it's nice sometimes to bring a hand to the low belly, hand to the low back, to just have that reminder you're not tucking the tailbone all the way under, but it's some lengthening of the tailbone down towards the earth. The low belly engages. Stay here, hands to thighs, goddess arms. And breathe here. You're certainly welcome to step into the fire, taking the goddess squat a little bit lower. Engage the leg muscles, engage the abdominals, and breathe. Do you want to find some movement, pulses here? Finding some little movements. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then big opening, take a giant stretch up. Release it down. Good. Keep the goddess legs for a moment. And then take the arms wide, wrap your right arm underneath your left, and you're in an eagle bind. So it's either you're gonna take this action of giving yourself a giant hug, or take a deeper expression of eagle arms. So the backs of the hands can connect, the palms can connect. Good, and again, pulses here or movement, you choose. Think about the center line of the body, getting longer. The back of the heart space expands. Take a breath in, breath out, and then release. Big reach out to the sides, straighten the legs, maybe even the arms reach up overhead. Trace it down through heart center. Find your goddess squat again, arms reach wide. You find that moment, right, where you feel your shoulder blades connect behind you. Keep lengthening the tailbone and then wrap the arms the opposite way. Left arm comes under, right arm over. That big hug or eagle arms. And I'm just gonna say this, we are really big huggers, right? In my family, at yoga home, it's just my family. It's just this hugging action. We're missing this right now. Right, so even if you can do full eagle arms, maybe you just give yourself that big hug and think of that person that you love the most, that you would love to hug in this moment, and just bring that in yourself. And breathe into that. Stillness or movement, seated or standing. And then open, expand wide. Arms, legs, deep breath in, side out. Inhale, reach arms all the way up overhead, take the gaze up, and then trace it down to your heart. All right, wiggle walk the feet together. Same thing if you're seated. We're gonna find a version of full eagle pose. Wrap your right leg over your left. It's funny, isn't it? A lot of times when we practice, we say like you're sitting in a chair. Well, literally like you're sitting in a chair. So if you're taking that standing version, wrap the leg over. You can tuck the toes behind. You can give yourself a little perch. Arms expand wide here. You've got your right leg over. Take your right arm under. Full eagle pose here. Good, breathe into this. The seat starts to lower as the heart stays lifted. Keep engaging the belly. There's your support point. Breath comes in. Breath goes out. And then release it out. Take a big lift up and wrap it up the opposite way. That left leg comes over, left arm comes under. Any variation that works for you. Squeeze it in. There's compression in this pose for sure, but there's expansiveness across the back. So breathe into that. All of those little muscles that have been getting so tight. Last one, deep breath in. Sigh it out. And then big expansiveness, reach up. And return to your Tadasana pose. And let's do this. Bring a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. The eyes can soften or close, and just notice how you feel in this moment. Perhaps the heart is beating a little bit faster. Perhaps the body temperature is elevated a little bit. All right, this blessed beating heart that you have. Stay connected to it. And once more, breath comes in. Breath goes out. Release your arms by your sides. You're back in mountain pose. And then take your thumbs out and behind you a little bit. And keep opening up through the heart space here. Good. Start to elevate the arms out and behind you, like you could touch the wall behind you. And then flip the palms down. Hands are going to come to the small of the back. You could interlace fingers. You could grab opposite wrists. You could grab onto whatever you're wearing on the bottom, your pajama pants or your yoga pants. Open up to the heart space. Again, seated or standing, forward fold. Do it from this place, though, that you've got a little bit more expansiveness through the chest in this forward fold. The shoulders draw together on the back a little bit. As the shoulders draw together on the back, the chest still comes down towards the thighs. The head can hang heavy. And then release the hands, let them just drape down your legs. And then slow motion, roll it all the way up to a stand. Finish it off, big sweep up overhead. And hands to the heart. All right, we've got one more standing posture we're gonna do. Step your right foot forward, back into that lunge. Now, knee can be up or down. Reach arms up overhead, and then take a twist. So open the arms wide. Think about the line that goes from your head all the way down through the base of the body. Lift up tall through that, and then take your twist here. I'm gonna switch sides so that I'm facing towards you. You've got a bit of a crescent twist here, but let's keep it upright today. Keeping it upright. Seated variation, you can do this in Tadasana pose. And take a gentle twist this way. A little bit more opening, coming from opening the arms wide. Good, breathe in here. And then come back through center. Take the twist over to the opposite side, switch out your legs for that lunge. And then once more, arms can expand wide. Finding your twist here. The thumbs face up to the sky. Come up higher on the ball of that back foot than you think you need to. Activate through the strength of your legs. The lunge can be as deep as it feels appropriate for you today. Take another breath in. And then release it out. We're gonna make our way down onto the floor. So my suggestion is either, if you're coming from standing position, reach all the way up, take a forward fold all the way down, and then walk yourself out. If you're more comfortable staying seated, just stay in your chair, all right? Everything that we do, I'll move you forward from that. And then let yourself land here. You could consider coming all the way into crocodile pose. Into crocodile pose is onto your belly, all the way onto the belly with the forearms stacking. Toes can face away from the body. Toes can face behind you or be pointed in. Take the version that feels best in your body. If you're staying seated, if you did have opportunity to grab a pillow or a blanket, consider bringing that across your lap just for a little bit more grounding energy. Pause here. Pause here. And in your time, you'll roll over onto your back. We're gonna meet for a few bridge rolls here. So coming onto your back, knees face up to the sky, toes face away from the body, and then start to open up the collarbones like you did before by squeezing the shoulder blades together on the back. Options here. You could push down into the feet to lift the hips high. As you do so, arms could float up overhead as well. And then everything lowers back down towards the earth. You could take that with or without the arms. So the hips float up, the tush squeezes at the top, arms reach up overhead, and then floats back down. If you're in a seated chair, you're gonna take that same action just without lifting the seat. So just think about elevating the heart space forward and then riding in the wave back down. Heart lifts, rides up, rides back down. Take 2 more of those, whichever version is right for you. If you're on the earth, we'll move into a figure 4 stretch. So cross your right ankle over your left knee. Your right hand could come onto the thigh, giving it a gentle invitation away from the body. This is the same posture seated. If having the foot up onto the knee is too aggressive for that, just bring the ankles to cross. Breathe into this figure 4 stretch, allowing the hip to open. If you're laying on the earth, feel the earth supporting the back of the body here. My friends who are seated in the chair, let the foot that is on the earth really be an anchor for you. And then we'll switch sides. Just switch sides. Easy does it. Keep pulling the toes back towards the knee. And each side is going to be a little bit different. Right? This is our experience. Each side of the body is going to be a little bit different. Each friend that we interact with is going to manage this situation a little bit different. And so our work as yogis is to acknowledge that, accept that, and just kind of be in this space, whatever it is. And then release from that. We're going to move into Shavasana pose. So let yourself land in a really comfortable and easy place. If you have a blanket or a sweatshirt or something to just cover up with, go ahead and do that. My friends who are staying seated in chairs, again, maybe you have a pillow that you could just rest your hands. If not, just let your hands rest on your thighs. Shavasana is really any position that is most comfortable and grounding and supported and safe for you. So let it be a posture that works for you in your body. As you come into this, Hmm. I want you to feel again whatever's touching the earth. Let it touch down. Feel the support that's available for you here. And whatever touches the sky, well, could this get lighter? The earth supporting you, the heavens above holding you. Your only work right now is to be still and rest. Hmm. There's no rush, no rush. But just allow yourself to come back into this space. Just notice how you feel. How's the physical body? How's your mind? How's your heart? And just start to invite in some small movements, some of those gentle circles of the ankles, pointing, flexing the feet, spreading the fingers, and just some gentle movement here. If you're on the earth, laying down, consider rolling over onto your left-hand side today. Pausing for a moment here, just curled up. And give yourself a little hug. No, give yourself a great big hug. Give yourself a great big hug. Let yourself come back into a seated position as you're ready. And before we close, we're going to invite in just a short meditation. And there are many variations of this, and this is one of my favorites. It's a meditation, a prayer of compassion, healing. You can do this with the hand mudra or without. So take your fingers and allow the thumb and the first finger to connect. And then the palms could face up on the mat or face up on your thighs. Eyes could soften or close. And this first round of this meditation will be for you. So invite in some intention for yourself here and just repeat either silently to yourself or repeat it out loud. May I be safe. The thumb moves to the middle finger. May I be healthy. Thumb moves to the ring finger. May I be happy. Thumb moves to the pinky. May I know peace. Take a breath in. Out the mouth, let it go. If you're using the mudra, bring your thumb back to the first finger. And bring to mind someone that you care deeply about. And bring this person to mind. Use their name. May they be safe. To the middle finger. May they be healthy. To the ring finger. May they be happy. To the pinky. May they know peace. Breath comes in. Breath goes out. The thumb shifts again to the first finger. As you bring to mind now, perhaps that person that you don't really know that well, but maybe you ran into. Saw them on the street, at the park. May this person, may they be safe. Shift the finger. May they be healthy. Thumb to ring finger. May they be happy. Thumb to pinky. May they know peace. Breath comes in. Breath goes out. Back to that hand mudra. That person that is challenging for you right now. Perhaps whose belief about what social distancing means, perhaps their fear showing up in ways that may not be compatible with yours. May they be safe. Thumb and middle finger. May they be healthy. Thumb and ring finger. May they be happy. Thumb and pinky. May they know peace. Deep breath in. Let it go. And this last round is for our whole world in this unprecedented time. May all be safe. May all be healthy. May all be happy. And may all know peace. Breath comes in. Breath goes out. We'll close from this space. Perhaps the hands lay on top of the heart, or come to prayer position, or just rest in a way that's comfortable for you. I have to believe that people all over the world are sending intentions out to the universe, just as we are here today. And so it's my deepest wish that our practice be of service to ourselves, to our community, to our families, our loved ones, to those people that we don't even know but interact with, and to our world at large. We'll close with a final Om that you're welcome to join or simply let the vibrations wash over you. Together we'll breathe in to prepare. With an abundance of gratitude for this incredible community. Allowing the thumbs to come to the middle of the forehead. And together we bow. Namaste. Oh, thank you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm gonna hang out and chat. And so anyone who is interested in connecting, and some of you know that like this is just like what we do. This is what we do, right? Often we'll start our practices with a group check-in of how we're doing. And just for our purposes today, it just makes a little bit more sense to have our check-in afterwards.